By now, you should have seen our video feature on the pothole pandemic and how garages can be involved in repairing vehicles when they inevitably hit these craters in the roads. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a banner at the top of the screen. But I wanted to find out more about what garages need to do to offer wheel alignment, the criteria they need to meet, the opportunities that offering the service presents, and the training that is available. So I spent some time speaking to Andrew Bates, Managing Director at Straightset, to find out just how the company is helping garages on their wheel alignment journeys. This is the full interview. So, first question, why can potholes be a benefit for garages?
Don't tell the customers this, but I mean, they're after a road traffic accident, I think potholes are the next biggest, most expensive issue that can happen to a vehicle. So for the motorist, it's shockingly expensive. Where garages can particularly make some sale out of this is if you're not offering wheel alignment, then you're missing out of a whole tranche of different services and opportunities that you could have. And if you're subcontracting out wheel alignment, then you're missing again out of a lot of work. And it's not, you don't have to go in at crazy money to be able to offer wheel alignment, but particularly for vehicles, and we're talking to the motor trade, aren't we? We're talking to guys that know what happens. You know what you need to tell you what happens when a vehicle hits a pothole, from the right tyres to bent track rods and all the tracking that goes out. And then the just associated dangers of motorists driving vehicles, how that drives the crash repair industry from having accidents as a result of all that. It's a huge income earner having potholes out there. So really, for selfish reasons, the more potholes, the better. But for the customer and for the motorist out there, obviously they're a fact of life. We're not going to get rid of potholes tomorrow, but in terms of what workshops and dealerships can get out of it, not having wheel alignment is going to be missing out big time, particularly as we get onto EV vehicles, where there will not necessarily be as much engine work done. There's certainly not be as much exhaust work done, so you have to look for other revenue streams. And tyres and wheels and tracking and alignment, and tyre cells is going to be very much part and parcel and full centre in terms of where your income is going to be coming from in the future.
On that one, how easy is it for garages to integrate wheel alignment into their business?
The first thing you need as a garage, you need a fairly level surface, and fairly level surface I really mean sort of like about plus or minus 2 mil. I mean, some garages, and it depends on the sophistication of the system. Wheel alignment systems, if you don't already have one, are not the most expensive things in the world. For example, our wheel alignment systems from Super Tracker, a simple laser system, this starts at under £2,000. And all these systems will provide basically the same information. It's all about, is the vehicle driving in a straight line when it's supposed to be in a straight line? And what a lot of people don't understand is that they just buy a pair of tracking gauges and just do the front. And if you just do the front, then without referencing the rear, then you're not going to be setting the car up correctly, and the car's going to tramp down the road, and it's going to do as much damage to the tyres as if you hadn't touched it. So always referencing the rear wheels. So a Super Tracker system, for example, that will help perform wheel alignment and do the checks at the rear before you then do the checks at the back, with just the tool that you need. And so those systems start off from just on £2,000, and you can pay. The next level up from that is a CCD system. So something like our 130 Super Tracker will adjust us for non-adjustable rear axles. We'll start from around about £7,000. Then the adjustable rear axle version, which is the 420, will then start around about £9,000 out for the customers. So the spend is really at what level you want to go at. Some people start up quite slowly and then find out, what the volumes are there, the levels there. You want the printouts, you want the convenience, you want the speed, and you go up. And you can be spending up to £90,000 on wheel alignment systems these days. That they all will basically give you the same information, but they will do it. The trade-off is presentation, faster, and how it looks in the workshop. And particularly the presentation and how it looks in the workshop can be a big draw for some customers. But I do know there's some of the more sophisticated systems out there that can do it within 5 seconds, and it's very, very fast to be able to get wheel alignment readings. It's quick as that without passing anything onto the wheels, and they're really coming on in leaps and bounds over that time. We've got systems to suit all pockets.
Excellent. How can garages make the most of wheel alignment to increase their profits?
I think if you were to bring wheel alignment front and centre in terms of part of a service, I don't have the exact figures for how many wheel alignments or how many wheels are out of alignment when they go into a workshop. But there's a lot of companies that I know that offer the wheel alignment check free of charge, and that's where the faster systems come in. If you offer the wheel alignment system free of charge, then the correction and the actual adjustment of the wheel alignment system comes on and brings really good work revenues from that, and picks up tyre wear. There are systems out there that will check tyre wear as you go into the workshop. These will not work necessarily on an old vehicle with its wheels out of alignment if it's got new tyres on. All it will tell you it's got new tyres on. It will only tell you if tyres are worn, if there's alignment out when the tyres are worn, after which it's too late. If you've got new tyres on a vehicle, it's out of alignment, then you need a system that will pick that up. So I will always recommend towards the side of wheel alignment before you go down the tyre tread checking route. Out of that stuff. It's a lot more accurate and it's a lot more certain, and you can show the figures in terms of what the customer needs to put the vehicle right.
So for garages, what training is available around wheel alignment?
The manufacturers of wheel alignment systems offer training. More often than not, it's on site, which can be fairly rudimentary. Straightset and Super Tracker, we also offer. We've got a training school here at Workshop now where we can show and demonstrate, and we can train up off-site. It's sometimes better because when you're trying to conduct a business and you've got people going in and out asking you questions, you can't concentrate. For the sake of a 3-hour course, is that we can bring you fully up to speed with how the wheel alignment system that you purchased works, and we are representing both Super Tracker brands, and we're also doing HPA, and we're also doing Bar. We've got the latest Q-line system on there, and you can come and you can have demonstrations, and we can train you on how to use wheel alignment systems effectively, very quickly. And it's not a big learning curve when it comes to wheel alignment systems. Once you have the principles in place, the main thing we're trying to do is have all 4 wheels driving in the same direction. That's it. The adjustment, it comes down to how then each individual vehicle is adjusted. And that's the bit that you bring with your mechanical skills. We can show you what to alter, but it's the setup and the readings of how to get them. We show you how to do that. It's surprising when we go around the rudimentary mistakes that people can make in using wheel alignment system, in just about making sure that the clamps that are on the wheels are touching all the points that they should be, and that they're all firing off straight. Is there so many don't use that? So many don't try to do it on a 2-post lift without support stands to make sure the vehicle is sitting there and you're not moving the vehicle when you're doing the adjustments. So there's all these things that we can add into it and get quite fairly straightforward, reasonably simple systems to work very, very accurately. Just take that little bit of care and that little bit of attention to detail to make sure it's right.
We talk about potholes. We talk about them in the winter, especially when they seem to form due to the weather conditions. But is wheel alignment actually a service that garages can offer all year round?
Should do. They should do. They should be offering it every time a vehicle comes into the workshop. You're missing opportunities if you're not offering wheel alignment all year round. This is not like air conditioning. This is where you have this spring surge of air conditioning requirements. What you have is the wheels alignment is front and center. Electric vehicles can get through tyres like nobody's business, because as soon as everybody gets into electric vehicle, they switch on berserk mode, and they can be ripping tyres off at the rate of a set every 8,000 miles. Expensive tyres, and to get the economy, you should be able to offer a wheel alignment service, a wheel alignment checked at a reasonable price. But do you know what? At the side of £1,000 set of tyres is that £150 wheel alignment service or whatever it is nothing. Depends on what you're charging for, but that seems to be the average going sort of rate. But certainly it needs to be part and parcel, I believe, And every time a vehicle goes in, you check the wheel alignment system.
What does Straightset offer?
Straightset has been around for 38 years, and we are a workshop equipment company. On its most basic level is that we can take a building and we can turn it into a motor vehicle workshop. We can provide everything that goes into that workshop. We've done workshops where we also included not only just the basic garage equipment, but also the lighting, the heating. We've coordinated everything. We've worked along with builders. We can work along with your own builders. We can refurbish existing workshops and turn them into something that's suitable for today. People that buy existing workshops, they'll be aware of the fact that some of the equipment can be very old. Some of the equipment will also not have the greatest of service experiences on it. And you'll also find that some of the equipment that's in an old workshop will not suit the cars that are around today. Is one of the reasons why companies decide that, do they want to refurbish their workshop equipment, or shall we call it today and move on? Because it's not necessarily the cheapest of things to do to refurbish a workshop. However, I would say to customers, garage equipment is the cheapest bit of the workshop. It really is. When you take the building and you take the investment in your staff and how you generate that, to turn a flat piece of floor into a working bay isn't that expensive. So once you've decided to take that leap, and whether you're putting in just service lifts, or whether you're putting in wheel alignment bays, or whether you're doing MOTs, inspections, or whether you want to get involved in electric vehicle repairs and diagnostics and stripping batteries down and take them out of vehicles and going quite sophisticated in that way, we can cater and we can do all that. And we work for the independent sector, we work for the franchise sector, we do colleges, we also work for the vehicle manufacturers as well, in helping them to provide equipment that goes into their pre-delivery service equipment, as well as the manufacturing of vehicles as well. And we work with most of the companies in the UK regarding that. Once you've bought the equipment, we can then help you to then maintain and calibrate it. We do all the installations ourselves. We don't use subcontractors. We do all the service work ourselves, and mainly we don't use subcontractors unless it's a piece of equipment that you specified that we don't normally look after. But we can then project manage that, and we can resource manage your service inspections, so you've only got one person to contact. Is that we will undertake the service contract and plan it out, and that's what we do for a lot of customers all over the UK. And our engineers are spread from London right down to the south coast of the country. We fully cover the UK with 55 engineers out there, and we're fully there to support customers if they make that buying decision and come with us.
So quite a lot then.
It's comprehensive.
And when it comes to wheel alignment equipment, how does Straightset support garages through the whole journey when it comes to looking at the catalogue, to having it installed and having it sort of looked after in the years ahead?
What we're doing is we're becoming a multi-branded wheel alignment business. So that although we've got Super Tracker is owned by Straightset, is that Straightset as the business itself is becoming a multi-branded enterprise. So there will be the Super Tracker systems that we're already developing, and we're pushing ahead with new systems on that one. We've recently just introduced the new green laser alignment system, which is a lot better visibility in natural daylight. It's a lot of great use for outside and great use for track day use as well, because the red systems were not that. They were good, but they were just not that visible sometimes in bright daylight. These work a lot better in bright daylight. We've also developed a new tablet-based system that's coming out soon with our CCD systems. They'll make it mobile. So we're able to cater them for the mobile guys out there that want a good, effective system that's not out of the way on price. What we do for our customers on wheel alignment is that not only are we providing that range, we're also the Buysbar distributor. So all Buysbar products in the UK that are out there, we can fully support on service and maintenance. We've got 10 dedicated garage equipment engineers that are just purely dedicated for the calibration of wheel alignment services and equipment. We carry Super Tracker wheel alignment rigs in our vans to be able to calibrate the laser systems. I think they're the only people that's doing that. And the systems that we've got now are being calibrated to an ISO standard. We've got it set up with our ISO rig back at the factory, so that when you get a calibration from us, it's actually being set up and calibrated with a rig. It's being calibrated by the rig in our factory. So we have that. So we move on to get that purity. And I believe that we're now offering a more comprehensive and a better level of service on wheel alignment than A, we've ever done, and B, I think is out there possibly by any other competitor in our field.
When it comes to ADAS, we're seeing more and more cars involving ADAS, from adaptive cruise control to lane control, even to self-parking systems. There's a lot of technology involved in this. Should garages be wary of ADAS when it comes to wheel alignment, or is it actually something that is something that's simple to train on?
What you'll find is that going forward, at least in the first few years of development of ADAS, it's going to become quite brand orientated. And we're going to be finding it will be the major investment will be placed on the by the brands that will need to catch up with this. So the brands that adopt the technology will come out with the resources and with the technology and with the approvals to be able to allow the ADAS technology to be tested. Now, the early adopters of this, there are systems out there that we're all aware of some of the brands that's out there that perform this. I'm not seeing a massive uptake at this moment in time from the independent sector. It tends to be driven by the motor vehicle manufacturers and the brands that's out there. But it will come. There's always a trickle down when you get vehicles over the 8, 9, 10 years of age that don't go necessarily always go back to the brand sector. Either they'll go to an independent, and it will be driven by how much demand's out there. But the other trend I'm tending to factor is that although the system tends to gear quite nicely to wheel alignment, some of wheel alignment components actually fit into the ADAS calibration system. We're seeing as much impact in terms of what body shops do, because they're getting more involved in the crash repair. Now, whether that work gets done through the mechanical section or it's just done by the body shop, is that both sectors, both mechanical and body shop sectors, need to be aware of the opportunities that's out there for ADAS. But certainly it's evolving, and at the moment it's fairly low level. But when we get to fully autonomous driving, if we do get out there, and it's going to become again front and center to our technology. And just to frighten everybody, I've seen a system out there. It shows which way the manufacturers are working. I've just seen a demonstration of a system whereby on all this automated driving that's out there that's going to come in, there will be a mechanic robot, and this mechanic robot can summon a vehicle from the car park into the workshop and load it onto a vehicle lift. As it does that, it takes the registration number, takes the VIN detail number, and it then works around the vehicle and it maps and monitors the wheel alignment. It will do the damage to the vehicle. It will record everything as it goes around the vehicle. It can then put the vehicle up in the air. It can then take the wheels off, and it can then take it to a tyre changer and change the tyres and do the balancing, fit them back on. And that's all been done remotely. And that is the game plan for the industry for the next 10 to 15 years. So, but that'll be driven by the franchise sector.